Are you ready? Today, present perfect, as you can already see here on the title, is one of the most neglected verb tenses of all. If present perfect were a person, it would be the person that would complain about bullying, about no one paying attention, about being ignored. Well, those people that get to parties and they're like, everyone goes like, hey. That's present perfect. I feel really sorry for present perfect because it is so hard for us Brazilians to get that. I feel that we kind of, live without it. All right, I can use present perfect when I say I have already done this, I have already seen that, I have already been there. That's, I think, the easiest one. But on the other hand, we use simple past as much as possible whenever we think we can. So we substitute present perfect for simple past. And the tricky thing about present perfect is we cannot translate it to Portuguese. When you read present perfect, your tendency is to translate literally. I have done for Portuguese, right? I have, and you translate to tenho done, feito. That is not what it is. Let's begin from that, okay? If you think that you can translate present perfect like that, that's the number one thing we're gonna break right now, okay? Right now, deal, right now. By the way, if you like the topic of this video, please leave a thumbs up already. Anticipate it. Why leave it to the end? Just do it now. Share the video with your friends and subscribe to the channel too if you're watching this on YouTube. We have agreed that present perfect is not translatable. So in Portuguese, it can mean a lot of different things. Sometimes the simple form, present perfect simple, can be our simple past. The simple form, depending on the idea with for or since, can be our present. The continuous form can be our present continuous or our present, depending on the idea as well. So it's really hard, to place what it is because we don't have it in Portuguese. It does not exist as a single separate verb tense. I am here to help you with that. Once and for all, understand when to use it and how to use it. We're going to talk about mechanics, the formula, the grammar, the verb construction, and we're also going to talk about the most important part, in my opinion, the most difficult part, in my opinion, the usage, when we use it. Okay, so let's get fluent for real, okay? I have a tip for you. Watch this video at a faster pace, a faster speed, so that you pay attention and concentrate more. So for me, guys, the number one rule is watching a video, watching a class, but you have to have three things present at that time. You have to have your body, so you have to attend, you have to play the video, you have to be present there in the class. So putting it off and not doing it will not help. Second of all, okay, I'm here, I'm watching the class, I pressed play, I'm present physically. Okay, what about your mind? Are you concentrated on this class? Or are you listening to something else? Do you have your phone on Instagram? Concentrate, have your mind in the class too. And thirdly, your soul. Your body, your mind, and your soul have to be in that class. So what am I gonna ask you to do now? There are some sentences, every now and then I'm going to show you some model sentences, some example sentences. So if you have your body, your mind, and your soul in this class, what's going to happen? You're going to be so concentrated and so focused that you're going to pause the video and repeat that sentence right after me. I'm not going to tell you when, I'm just going to give you, the sentence is going to be more, let's say, a model sentence really. It's just going to be a model sentence. So you will stop and repeat. Once, twice, 3 times. So that this class, this video, becomes active learning for you. No one learns how to speak better by listening. No one learns how to speak better by writing. You learn how to speak better by speaking. Of course, you need to read, you need to study, you need to listen to get input, but you need the output, the production of speaking English. So I want you to watch this video speaking at the same time, repeating, anything that you feel can be repeated, but especially the model sentences, the examples, and the little exercise that I'm going to ask you to do. Do we have a deal? I knew we would. Okay, so let me start by telling you guys a story. I am a huge Friends fan. Not only me, but Maria Clara is also a huge Friends fan. There are so many situations around me that remind me of the jokes and the scenes and the episodes of Friends. So I have a lot of inside joke references, and I love it so much that I cannot choose my favorite character. Everyone asks me, oh, who's your favorite character? And I don't know. I love each one of them individually. They have their own personalities, and I feel like I like it so much because I know them. It's like they're my friends. So I feel like, oh, Monica has that way of being a little neurotic, and so her jokes make more sense to me. I just love it. I love it so much that I started watching it when I was teenager. I was super young, and it was still on TV. You know, on TV, every week you had a new episode, a new season came up a year after. First it came out in the US, and then it came to Brazil. So yes, I am that old. After that, we bought the DVD. So all the episodes, all the seasons, and I watched that once, twice. So basically, if I look back and I count, I have watched Friends from beginning to end at least 5 or 6 times. All the episodes, all the seasons. To the point where I started catching the mistakes, the continuity mistakes, sorry. I just love it. So I have watched Friends many times. I used present perfect to tell you guys about that experience because I did not define, and it didn't matter when I watched it. What matters is the experience that I have. So I'm telling you about my life, about the past. It doesn't matter when. You just know that it happened before now. And I told you about how many times it happened, but I didn't tell you when. So the most important idea that is the core of present perfect. And from there, we get other little ideas that are consequences, is an action that is in the past, but it is indefinite. We don't know when it happened. I'm going to explain everything to you guys, so stay with me. But that's the most important idea, indefinite time in the past. Okay, and why? Why is it not simple past? Because in the simple past, we are focused on what is done. A past that is done and cannot be repeated because that time is over. So when I say yesterday, yesterday is over. So anything that happened yesterday, if I went to the movies yesterday, I cannot repeat that yesterday because yesterday is over. I could repeat that today, I could repeat that tomorrow, but not yesterday. On the other hand, when I talk about my life encompasses past, present, and future. So whatever I have watched, and I don't know when because I am talking about my life, whatever I have watched can be repeated because my life is still happening. My life is still going on. This time of my life that I'm telling you guys, right? I have watched Friends many times. This time is still present. It's past and present and future at the same time. So that's the main difference between present perfect and simple past. So when the time matters, we use simple past. Or when there is a context. When you already introduce a context, if I am talking about my last vacation, if I am talking about my last weekend, if the context is placed in the past, I have to use simple past. So I say, I bought a car last year, and it was a piece of junk. Different from that is, oh, I have bought a car. I don't have to ride the bus anymore. So the point of interest is different. Imagine that language is a tree. What you're trying to communicate is a tree. Oh, such a beautiful metaphor, oh my God. So the tree is too big and it's at night. It's nighttime, you have to show me the tree, but you can only focus, we have a flashlight, you can only focus on one thing at a time. So if you focus on the trunk of the tree, I can't really see the leaves and the branches, the top branches. If you point your flashlight and you're showing me the branches and the leaves, I'm not looking at the trunk. So if I'm focusing on the past action and maybe a consequence to the present, or just the action itself, like I have watched Friends many times, not the time, I'm going to use present perfect. But on the other hand, if I need a context, I want to tell you when it happened, I want to contextualize the moment, I use simple past. Okay, so is simple past only used when we are referring to time? Well, not only that. think about it. Remember what I said about yesterday being over. So any moment or any event that is over is simple past. So if I'm telling you about a party, at John's birthday party, and the party is in the past, okay? I don't know when. You don't know when it happened. You don't know if it was last weekend, if it was last month, but I'm telling you, you know that there was a party, and you know that, I was there. So I say, you know what, at John's party, I had so much fun. I met everyone from high school. We talked so much. We danced, and we had a lot of fun. So you know that that party is over. We are not at the party now. So that party started and finished in the past. I don't have to say last weekend. I don't have to say yesterday. So when I mean context, that's the idea. That's what I mean. If you are talking about any event that happened in the past and is over, you will use simple past. So you're not going to say, I have met him at the party. You're talking about a specific party in the past. I have met him at the party. No, you're going to say, I met him at the party. So let's see some more examples. For the simple past, we have words like 2 days ago, ago in general, last weekend, last month, last year, last summer, last Christmas, years, in 2000, of course the year in the past, okay, not future years, years of the past, in 2000, in 2015, in 1997, in 1984. Specific days, last January 1st, December 31st, 2019, September 2nd, any date in the past. So dates, months, years, they're over. That's the logic, right? They're over. And what is not over? What started in the past but still continues? My life. I have done a lot of things in my life. It's still happening. This year, if I'm talking about something that happened before now, but I am mentioning this year, and I believe that action can happen again. We are at the beginning of the year right now as I'm filming this video. So if we consider that the action is possible to be done again, we can use this year. We don't have to, but we can use this year, this month, this morning, this week with present perfect. How? I can say, for example, that now it's 10 a.m. and I haven't seen my boss this morning. Usually I do, so I'm surprised because it's 10 a.m. and I haven't seen my boss this morning. I can still see my boss because it's 10 o'clock. The morning is not over yet. I'm probably gonna look for her, I'm gonna try to find her, but the fact is I haven't seen her this morning. On the other hand, if it's 2 p.m. and I realize, I will say, I didn't see her this morning. What happened? I didn't see her this morning. The morning is over. The afternoon is happening, but the morning is over. Today is the same thing. Today can be a lot of things. Today can be even future. But if you're thinking about today, anything that happened before now, remember present perfect is before now. Anything that happened before now. But if the day is still happening, it's not over yet, I can use today. So I can say, wow, I haven't drunk any water today. Which is true, actually. I can say, wow, I haven't drunk any water today. Let me go to the kitchen, let me get a glass of water. Because the day is still happening, I can still drink water. On the other hand, if it's 10 o'clock at night, I'm about to go to sleep, I'm in bed, I just realized, oh my God, I didn't drink enough water today. But now it's too late, the day is over. I'm not gonna do it now, I am in bed, the day is over. So today, being considered a moment or a day or a specific time that is over, simple past. If today is still happening, it can be present perfect. As long as the action is when? Before now. Remember that, don't forget it. One more example for you. If I'm talking about someone who is alive, that person's life is still going on. So I can say, for example, that Meghan Markle has been pregnant once. She has had one baby up to today, up to now. She may have other kids, she may get pregnant again. Princess Diana, on the other hand, has passed away. She died. So I'm gonna say that she had 2 kids, that she was pregnant twice. Her life is over. Her life has no connection with the present. And let's remember that the name of the verb tense is what? Present perfect, because it is that beautiful connection between past and present. It's not just past, it's not just present. It's that beautiful combination. So I have a challenge for you now. If you were leaving a party, I have my cheat sheet there. Leaving a party, bye-bye, you realize something. What do you realize? Option number 1, I haven't had a chance to talk to John at the party. Option number 2, I didn't have a chance to talk to John at the party. Which one? Option number 2, I didn't have a chance to talk to John at the party. Because for you now, the party is over, you have left, bye-bye, the party is not happening anymore. So you say, I didn't have a chance, you use simple past. Another example now, if you are at the party, you're there, having your fun, and then you realize something. I haven't danced with my own boyfriend. I have danced with everyone except with him, let me call him. Or, I didn't dance with my boyfriend. I danced with everyone except him. Which one is better? Which one is more idiomatic? So, option number 1, you're still at the party, so you're gonna realize that until that moment you haven't danced with him. But you can still do it, so you're gonna invite him, hey, let's dance. Why did I say which one is better? Because in this case, you could use simple past, but that's what we are trying to avoid, you guys. That's what I don't want you to do. Use simple past when the more idiomatic way is present perfect, when the better way is present perfect, because you will just let yourself do it. You will just allow yourself not to use present perfect when you need to, when you have to. So let's be a little more radical when it comes to present perfect and the usage. Use it every time that you can. Every time it's suitable, every time it's supposed to be used. Even if there is another way, even if there is a simple past that can be fit in that situation, don't use simple past. Go with present perfect. Go with what's more difficult. Get out of your comfort zone. Make your brain make new connections between time words, between contexts, between situations, and the verb that is avoided or forgotten or neglected. You know, so let's try. I'm gonna give you guys some more examples. Remember what I told you? Pause the video, repeat the sentences, work on your pronunciation, try to speak beautifully with intonation, fast, don't do it too slow, try to speak as fast as I do. So, Ralph met his wife at a Coldplay concert. The manager learned a lot at the national conference. During the speech, one of the politicians fell off the stage. So these 3 sentences are in the simple past because the national conference is over, the speech, the situation, the event of the speech is over, and the Coldplay concert is over. They are in the past. I haven't drunk any beer at this Coldplay concert. Look at the line, it's huge. Oh my God, I have met so many people at this conference. I am learning so much. He has finished delivering the speech. Now he is going to greet his voters. So in these 3 examples, the conference, the person is still at the show. She's showing the line to you. The person is still at the conference because she is learning so much. And the other person is still at the politician's event. Oh, now he's going to greet the voters. So the event is still going on. The event started before now and is still happening. So, and I really hope the examples clarified a little bit or a lot, hopefully a lot, on the differences between present perfect and simple past. So, although present perfect is very, very used, important, and so on, it's not a verb that we use to tell a whole story. It's a verb we use usually to present information. I start talking about something, or I say something has happened, a piece of information focusing on the action. But then if I want to give more details, if I want to contextualize that more, I will need to refer to something else, like simple past, for example. Let me give you an example of a story, okay? I'm gonna read from my cheat sheet. So I have visited LA quite a few times. One of my best friends is from LA and he lives there. We were best friends in high school and we ended up going to different colleges in different cities. But we got in touch and we see each other every summer. So the action in the past, focusing on the number of times it has happened, is present perfect. So I started saying I have visited LA quite a few times. But the rest, how we met, how old we were, etc., simple past. I am so angry at myself. You can't believe what I did. You know, last week I totally forgot to pay my credit card bill. You know what? I have forgotten to water the plants. I have forgotten to even eat lunch, you know, and I don't know, call my mom. I have forgotten to do a lot of things. But this time I forgot to pay the credit card bill. I was so upset. So when I say I have forgotten to water the plants, I have forgotten, I mean in my life, at one point, one day in my life, that has happened, you know, that happened. But I'm not telling you when. I'm saying in my life, this has happened to me. And when I talk about last week, I say I forgot. So I have forgotten, and then I forgot. So we navigate between verb tenses. We are not going to tell a whole story using present perfect. Okay, now work with me from your desk, wherever you are, hopefully comfortably sitting, listening to me with body, mind, and soul in this video. So now we're going to connect time words that are non-definite, that connect with present perfect, that are used with present perfect, and others that are over and done in the past. And I want you to do that exercise at home. A very simple sentence like, I have eaten sushi. I have eaten sushi in my life many times. So when I say I have eaten sushi in my life, or I have eaten sushi before, that is a very simple sentence with present perfect. But if I say last night, I have eaten sushi, I have to change it to I ate sushi last night. That's what I want you to do. I'm going to throw some time words and you change at home. So I say, I have eaten sushi. If I use just, do I need to change? Last night. Already. Many times. Before. Once. Did you do it orally or did you just think? Come on, say it out loud. Whenever I ask you to do an exercise or whenever you feel like repeating or saying something, say it, speak. Let's make this lesson an active learning lesson, not just passive. You're not just listening to me, you are speaking. So this little exercise that I gave you, you can repeat at home, and you should repeat at home actually. Get experiences in your life, things that you have done, you have accomplished. I have graduated in this course. I have traveled to that place a couple times. I have been to that restaurant once, twice. And that sentence, you navigate between the words that I mentioned. Just, once, before, already, last weekend, last night, anything that I mentioned here on the video. So you can connect, your brain connects time and verb tense, so that you use it naturally. One day you will be speaking naturally, you will be using present perfect whenever your brain associates what you're saying with these time words, with these events, with this concept of what's past is past, what is past and present is present perfect. A second idea of present perfect is an action that the same rule happened in the past, I don't know when, but there is something extra, which is the consequence of that action to the present. When I tell you, I have watched Friends many times, that doesn't bring consequences to the present necessarily. I am just sharing an experience with you. But when I say, oh my God, I have lost my cell phone, that means that right now I am in trouble. I need you to help me. Where's my phone? Please help me. I've lost my phone. Although the action happened before now I am trying to solve it, or now it's important for what I am doing now. I've lost my keys. Help me find them. I haven't eaten. I am starving. Your boss has called you 3 times. Why won't you pick up the phone? Come on, pick up the phone. Would you like some cake, dear? No, thanks. I've just eaten. That very strong connection, past and consequence to the present, or action in the present and a reason why in the past, is very much present perfect. Present perfect simple. Remember that we are talking about present perfect simple on this video. So it's very much present perfect. It doesn't matter when it happened, it has happened, and now some kind of consequence is going on. So summarizing, action in the past with an indefinite time. Let's remember the concept of time, event, what's over, what's not. Second, an action that happened in the past but brings a consequence to the present. And in between those two, we have experiences. Anything you think about in my life, all my life, before now. Those are very much present perfect. Already, yet, just. These are adverbs that are commonly associated with present perfect too. Accomplishments. Things you have lived, experienced, and things you have accomplished. I have won an award. I don't know, anything that is an accomplishment for you. It doesn't have to be big, okay? It can be something small. Now that the idea is hopefully clear to you guys, let's work a little bit on the mechanics. The mechanics of the verb. You have I, you, we, and they as subject pronouns with the auxiliary verb have. It's very easy because it's similar to simple present. I have, you have, we have, they have. After that, we have the past participle, which is a special verb that probably you have already seen, you have already heard. But the thing about past participle is also, it's very, very much neglected. And we may think that we don't need to memorize them or we can live without them. We cannot. To be fluent for real, we need to know all of them by heart. We have to be automatic. We can't go, I have seen. It has to be something automatic. It has to be fast. Past participle, let's open a parenthesis later, okay? We'll talk about that verb. I have plus past participle. You have, they have, we have. He, she, and it. Just like with the simple present, we have to put the S. So she has, he has, it has. Third person singular. So when I say I have eaten, we have eaten, you have eaten, they have eaten. She has eaten, he has eaten, the dog has eaten. What about the contractions? Contractions are super important. That's how native speakers speak. They contract things all the time when they're speaking. Be careful not to write, especially something formal. No contractions. So you say, I've eaten, they've eaten, we've eaten, you've eaten, she's eaten, he's eaten, it's eaten. Now, get the same exercise, go through the contractions with other verbs orally. At home, right now, pause the video and do it. You have already separated time to watch this video, so why not do it right now? It's going to add 2 minutes at most, 1 minute, 2 minutes to your time watching this video. What about the past participle? It's something that, as I said, you really need to memorize. I'm going to give you some tips on how to do it, and I'm going to leave a PDF file here. So my tip for you is study the list, memorize all of them. You can go from the infinitive to the past participle. For example, you say go, gone. See, seen. You can do that. Study, 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 memorize. Say it. Don't just read it. Say it out loud. It's powerful. When you have memorized a substantial amount, you can ask someone to check for you whether or not you're right by reading. They say see, and then you say seen, and they check. Or not, or you can do it yourself too if you don't have anyone to help you with that. So another way to do it, which is the second step, is you get the verb, for example, go, and you make a short sentence with the subject. You say, I've gone, go, and you say, I've gone, see, I've seen, buy, I've bought, Find, I found. So you are not just working on the isolated verb, but you're also working with present perfect. I found. Once you've done that with some verbs, you feel like, okay, I think those verbs are easier for me now in the present perfect. I think it's coming out more automatically. Now you change maybe the same list of verbs with the third person and you go, she's gone, find, she's found, read, she's read. Because you know what is easier? First person is easier. It's easier because we're always talking about ourselves, and it's easier for us to talk about ourselves, than third person. So mix it. Don't let your English practice be restricted to first person only. So work with third person, work with other subjects too. This more mechanical exercise, work with simple subjects, I, she, we, they, he, but try to do it at home. I'm sure that after you've done that once, twice, 3, 4 times, you will have a completely different ability to use present perfect naturally and spontaneously. And we cannot live off of the affirmative form only. Also, the negative form and the interrogative are very, very crucial, essential. So the negative form is I have not, I haven't. She has not, she hasn't. Those verbs are contracted or not, but they are joined with the not. I say, I have not eaten. You have not eaten. We have not eaten. They have not eaten. I haven't eaten. You haven't eaten. We haven't eaten. They haven't eaten. Now the third person. She has not eaten. She hasn't eaten. He has not eaten. He hasn't eaten. The dog has not eaten. It has not eaten. It hasn't eaten. But it's super important that you do the exercise also with the negative form, because we don't live only off of affirmative. Unfortunately, I wish the world were positive 100% of the time, but it's not. It's negative too. What about the question, guys? Oh, please, you on the other side of that camera, please listen to me. Questions are the base of human communication. Questions and answers. We are always asking each other questions. So you cannot just go through life without asking proper questions, without asking questions the way the language was built. So you need to invert your auxiliaries. You need to put the auxiliary verb or the verb before the subject. So there is no such thing as you have traveled, you have eaten. Come on, guys, no. Start with the verb. The question always starts with the verb. Have you eaten? Has she eaten? Has the dog eaten? In this case, you know what? It's super simple. With the simple past, oh my god, there's that complication of did you eat? Which is different from I ate, you ate. The present perfect has this great advantage. We have a subject, an auxiliary verb, and a verb, an action. You just invert them. There is no infinitive involved. So I have eaten. Have I eaten? You have eaten. Have you eaten? The dog has eaten. Has the dog eaten? So you can exercise that by, you know, the sentences that you created a little before, some sentences you created talk about experiences and so on. Make the same sentences, create those same sentences orally. That's a challenge for you. You're not going to write anything. You are going to come up with sentences in your head, or maybe if you want to write just the first ones, but the rest is here. You're not reading, you're listening, and you are inside your own mind. Speak, transform, get the sentence, and make questions. Make questions out of those affirmative sentences. Make sentences that are meaningful to you, that make sense to your life, make sense to the people around you, sharing experiences, sharing accomplishments, sharing things that you have already done, that you haven't done yet, that you have just done, that you have done many times. Not just you, people around you, your family, your loved ones, your partner, your dog, your neighbor. Because the two things that I feel really block us from learning are only speaking in the affirmative form, not paying enough attention to questions and negatives and all their ways of communicating, and only first person, only speaking with I, and neglecting the third persons and the complex subjects too. So try to vary your studies, but remember, do it orally. If you do it orally, you will be able to translate that into your writing too. If you want to do a writing exercise later, great. I would love that as well. But please, don't forget to speak. Don't forget to think, speak, and get yourself independent from writing and reading. So now I'm going to practice a little bit more with you. You're going to respond the questions for me. Remember how I mentioned that present perfect is not a verb that we use to tell a whole story. We use to present information more. So I'm going to ask you a question, and then I want you to carry on telling more about that. And remember that you need to change the verb tense, whatever it is, okay? It doesn't have to be simple past only. But I'm going to guide you through that. So the first question is, have you ever eaten sushi? Respond and then tell me about the first time. What movie have you seen many times because it's so much fun? Describe the plot of the movie, the story of the movie. What is it about? Who has broken your heart? Ooh. And when was it? Have your parents ever scolded you really, really bad and reprimanded you for something bad that you did? Why? If it's hard, go back a step, study the formula a little more, study the past participle, memorize it, make sure it's all memorized. So to ingrain this verb tense in your mind, in your head, to really make it something natural for you to say, you need to associate time words. You need to truly memorize past participle. You need to master the mechanical part of it, which is combination of subject, I have, past participle, she has, she hasn't. That's done through oral exercises. Also, mastering the interrogative and the negative, not forgetting them either, and not translating in your head. When you do these oral exercises quickly, fast, you don't have time to translate, and you're teaching your brain to think in English, to think the way that a native speaker thinks. So on this video, guys, I presented to you a very thorough explanation of present perfect. I really worked hard to write the script of this video to make sure I didn't forget any details. I really hope that it was helpful. If there's something missing about this idea of present perfect simple, please let me know, leave it in the comments. I will, however, make another video talking to you about another idea of present perfect simple, which is that connection, something that started in the past but still happens, which is also similar to the idea of present perfect continuous. So I am going to make a video about those two, that idea, right, that is used in two ways, soon. If it's already on, I will leave it in the cards. I will leave the link somewhere. If not, just wait for it because there's a lot of cool stuff coming up. We have a lot of content to help you out with so many things. We want to help you be fluent for real, reach your goals, grow professionally wherever you are in the world, wherever you want to be in the world. So please, if you liked it, like the video, share it with your friends, save it in favorites, in a way that you can watch it again and practice again. It's never too much to work a little bit on your present perfect, the mechanics and the idea. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.